So today we are going to do a deep dive into the motivated seller script that I've used to lock up over 1,300 deals inside my own company. Now, here's the great part is that 95% of the deals that I have done in my company have been locked up by somebody other than me. People with no real estate experience, people who have done their first deal, people who have no idea how the heck to lock up a piece of real estate. And I'm going to show you in excruciating detail right here, okay, what to say, when to say it, how to say it, your posture, your facial movements, your tone. And after today's episode, you are going to be an expert on that initial phone call when talking to a motivated seller. So I have a gift for you, by the way. If you have not been to our site, I'm actually gonna give you a free copy of this motivated seller script. So head on over to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script. That's nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script. So today, if you have not downloaded it right now, that is okay. You can listen to today's episode, download it later, and then come back and listen to it a second time. So this script right here that I have in front of me has many things that are placed in it intentionally. A lot of things that we talk about is you never want to be chasing a seller, right? You want to be moving the other way. You never want to chase the dog. You want to run the other way so the dog can chase you. I always tell the story about my dog Molly back in Long Beach, New York. She used to just run out the door, run down the street to the local playground at Lindell School. And whenever I used to chase her, she used to run the other way. Okay, so the key of this script is we're going to move away from sellers, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that so that they're going to chase you. Now, if you're listening to today's show and you're wondering, hey, I've never done a deal, right? Is this for me? This is absolutely for you today. Okay, I learned this is a variation of the script that one of my mentors taught me. Right? So this is absolutely for you. And if you've done deals and you need some sharpening up or you think you're good, by the way, once you think you're good, you're actually dead. You're going backwards. Okay. You've got to listen to today's show. Okay. So number one, it's about, again, pulling away from the seller so that you're not chasing them. Number two, it's about extracting motivation. So when you're on the phone, this is a game of your time. You have to decide who is the contenders, right? Who we're going to be doing business with, and the pretenders, who is going to pretend like they're going to do a deal with you. Or maybe you're pretending that you're going to do a deal with them just to yap it up. Okay. So this script is meant to also extract information so that then we can decide whether this person is worthy of our time. All right. So there's only one thing that you can't change word for word in the script. I wouldn't change a thing, but there's only one thing. That is my rule, and that is number two. And I'm going to talk about this. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put the number 2 on there, and I'll probably come back to that and say, don't change that. You also can weave in and out of the script. So if a seller throws you off, that's okay, right? You can build some rapport during the script, but make sure then you direct the script back to what you have here in front of you on the script, right? They may, ask you a question, or they may get distracted by something, and that's okay, right? Don't make it unnatural. Keep it conversational and use this as a guide. The only thing that you can't change is number 2. So rule number 1, smile. Rule number 2, don't change. Line number 2 in the script. All right. And remember, you can download a copy of this at nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script. So you're now smiling on the phone, and this is going to be really, really important. People can see that. Okay. Right now, people can see that you're smiling. If you're listening to this right now on a podcast or Spotify or, Google Play or iTunes, you can probably see that I'm smiling, right? If you're watching on YouTube, you can definitely see I'm smiling, but you can almost hear that I'm happy to be on the phone with you. That just releases tension. It gets the seller to open up more, and you're going to extract more information, and the seller is going to be less guarded, which means that you are going to find that motivated seller quicker, which means you're going to get the deal faster, which means you're going to get paid faster. Okay. So just trying to tie that all together for you. All right. So you're smiling. So this is all about getting back to a prospect. I'm assuming that you're doing some kind of outbound marketing. Okay. So they call you and you are then calling them back. And that's one of the ways we like to do business sometimes. because we like to be able to control that conversation. Some of you have live answer. And so if it's different, you can modify this slightly. Okay. So number one, hi, this is Todd. I was getting back to you about the property that you have for sale. We sent you a postcard. And listen and hush. You want to wait for a response. Now, at this point, they'll either remember or they won't, right? But this is where number two comes in. No matter what they say, do not change this. Say, sounds like I caught you in the middle of something. Okay, now, what's important here is that you're pulling away and you are sounding confused, right? I'm moving away. Sounds like I caught you in the middle of something. Moving away so that now the seller feels like I'm not chasing them, right? I'm going to hang up the phone and they're going to say, no, wait. I do want to talk to you versus just going in the other way, right? Now, this right here, people say that's not that big of a deal. It is huge. Don't add a word to it. Don't add a word in the middle of it. Don't mess with it. Don't touch it. Sounds like I caught you in the middle of something. Okay, one of my mentors taught me this, all right? This was David Finkel and Peter Conti back in 2000, all right? And they taught me that, and they taught me never change a word of that. So now that you pull away, hopefully, at this point, they have now re-engaged. No, I was just gardening. No, I was just watching the game. No, I was just on my way out to church, but I've got 5 minutes, okay? So now you've got them. They now have come to you. You've changed the roles, okay? Then I say, can you tell me a little bit about the property? And zip it. Talk as little as possible here, right? If they say, well, what do you want to know? Say, hey, well, tell me everything you know, right? And you could say, they might say, okay, it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, pool, and let them go on and on and on and on and on. And let them go on, don't let them go on for like 20 minutes, right? But let them say what they have to say. Now, number 4, this is the most important thing because number 3, I don't really even care about, right? Because I just want them talking and making it normal that we're going to have this conversation, right? The only thing I'm going to listen for about the property is motivation. Now, I might listen to the fact that, they may say that they have a no good brother-in-law living in there rent-free. That's what I want to hear. They may say that they have their daughter living in there rent-free or that the property is way behind on repairs. So I'm interested in hearing about that. I'm not interested in hearing how it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath and beautiful view and all that other stuff because we're looking for motivation. That's what this script here is for. So this is the second most important part, okay? You also want to sound confused. This is the motivation question, the money question. Sounds like a great property. Why would you consider selling it? Okay, now at this point, you want to sound confused and you want to have a funny face. You want to have a fur in your brow and, you want to just be like, I'm confused, right? Sounds like a great property. Why would you ever consider selling it? I'll say that again. Sounds like a great property. Why would you ever consider selling it? You're sounding confused. Now, at this point, again, you're not chasing the seller, right? They are now coming at you, right? They're going to come and help you, and they're going to now have to say, well, I'm 7 years old, and I just can't keep up with the property. I'm tired of being a landlord, right? Or I'm moving to Texas next week, and I have 2 jobs, and I can't carry mortgages. We're looking to extract information here. Very, very, very important. So that's number 4. You want to listen very carefully. Now, if the seller says anything at this point, I talk on another podcast about going deep. If you hear any kind of motivation here where they play on the surface, you want to go deeper there. So if they say, well, I'm just tired of being a landlord and I've had this house for 10 years and, the rent is okay, but I'm just tired. Now, most people will just glaze over that. But now you want to go deep, the next level, the next question. Well, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Boom. Okay. Now it says, well, the tenant, we don't really get along all that well. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about what's happened in the past? Now we go a layer deeper, right? Now, if they don't give me enough information. I might throw in a little stealth mismatch here if you haven't listened to this podcast, but I might say, well, the good thing is the tenant pays the rent on time every month, right? Now, I'm saying that with the hopes that they may say, well, actually, he's 3 months behind, right? But I use it to extract information. If they say, yeah, he does, I'm just going to move on. But use this time to find a pain point and then dig deep to find out if you have a contender or a pretender. Now, number 5, this is also the beginning of another motivation question. I'm going to say, what do you think the property is worth? Notice I didn't say, how much will you take? Okay, when I say, what do you think the property is worth? This is going to give me a good baseline, because I can tell you that 99.9% of sellers know what houses are worth. You're not going to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. And so it gives them a good baseline, gives you a good baseline. And they may say, well, it's worth $300,000. Okay, great. And then I'll say, how'd you arrive at that number? Because I want to see how accurate they are. So they might say, well, I looked at the neighbor's house, this sold for this. And I look at that neighbor's house and it sold for that. And now or a realtor told me this. And so now we know that we're in the ballpark. Next question, is there anything owed against the property? Okay, I may also switch that to what is owed against the property. Okay, so you can switch that from is there anything owed against the property to what is owed against the property. Number 8, what kind of repairs does the property need? Notice I didn't say, does the property need any repairs? If you say, does the property need any repairs? Many sellers will say no. If you say, what kind of repairs does the property need? They're going to start telling you stuff. So use that. It's an open-ended question. Number 9, how soon would you like to sell? At that point, just zip it, right? Just listen. The timeline's going to tell you things, right? So I'm going to look at number 1. We asked about the condition. We asked about the seller's timeline, right? How soon you'd like to sell. We also asked them, hey, why would you consider selling it? So we're going to look at how motivated that seller is, those internal motivations. Very, very important. Okay, number 10. And this will tell you a little bit on price. If I could pay all cash and close quickly, what would be the best price if you'd consider if I paid all the closing costs and there were no real estate commissions to pay? Now, this is where most people wet the bed because they talk too soon, too much, and then they don't go deep enough, okay? So you want to pause and let the seller give a number, okay? Very, very important. You want to let the seller give a number. Now, man, this is where people just lose the courage. So you want to listen to this podcast again and again and again, because if you get this, you'll be better than 90% of wholesalers out there. Number 1, they're going to give you an answer or they're not going to give you an answer. So sometimes they say, well, you called me, right? Or you give me a number, or I don't know, you're the expert. And this is where most people fold and they just throw out a number, okay? But not you, not today, and not the listeners of this podcast, all right? If you've purchased a no-limit selling system, you know that you're not going to give a number unless you've asked at least 4 different times and then do what I tell you here do at the end. By the way, if you have not purchased the No Limits sales system, you got to go check that out. Go to nolimitsalesystem.com, nolimitsalesystem.com, and there you can get some free videos on the training. If you just want to bypass all that free training and get that really deep, meaty, step-by-step plan with the scripts and the checklists and the guides and the objection handling and all that other stuff, you can go to No Limit Sales System or nolimitsalesystem.com/backdoor to check that out. Okay, but if they do give you a number, I'm going to tell you what to say. But if they don't, you have to ask in 4 different ways. How many times? 4. Quattro, okay? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Get some guts, okay? So tension is good. So you've asked 1. Number 2, if they don't, say, can you give me your best guess of what it's worth? Just a little different way, a little different wording, okay? Number 3, how about just a ballpark? How about just a ballpark of what you think it's worth? Now, at this point, if they're not answering, the tension may go up. That's okay. I'm going to give you permission to ask one more time in a different way. All right. Any idea of the value of the houses in your area? Okay. Would you be willing to take less than that? Right. So what is the value of the houses in your area? Let them talk. Okay. Would you be willing to take less than that? Right. So now you're starting to get the temperature. Now, if you don't get it after asking 4 times, you're probably not getting a number out of them in this scenario. Okay. So now here's what you got to do. Right now they're dodging, right? They're dodging it. They're trying to say, hey, whoever mentions a number first loses. Okay. So what you got to do here, right, is now, okay, fine. You just got to go for it. So you're going to do what I call a soft pass. Okay. And a soft pass is you're going to throw out a number, but the number is low. Now don't go all chicken on me and give them a high number just because they won't give you a number. People assume that if someone won't give you a number, that they're highly sophisticated and that they're not motivated. And so they throw out a high number just to appease the seller for some reason to make little to no money. I have no idea why some of you do this, but not you, not today, not anymore. Okay, we're gonna get you a big, fat, juicy, giant 6-figure paycheck. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So you wanna throw this out, and this number should be really, really low, where you're looking at, 50, 60, 70, 100K, 250K profit, okay, depending on the price point. So I'll say if the house is worth 300, I might say, hey, would you take $150 for it? Now, you doing that is something that a little bit called, it's a pattern interrupt, right? It's a little bit of a price conditioning where I'm getting them low. It's also a little bit of a stealth mismatch where I'm throwing a number out that's so extreme. Now that's going to have a reaction. So they may say, well, no, that's way lower than I thought. Okay, well, you obviously had some kind of number in mind. So, I threw out 150. What are you thinking? Now you're probably going to get a number. Now, either they're going to hang up on you or you're going to get a number. By the way, either one is okay. I'm okay with you getting hung up on because you can always call them back. You can always send them a text message. You can always send them a video message and play nice and smile and see if you can't get them back on the line. But don't be scared of that. All right. So those are the 4 ways to get a number. Now, assuming that you get a number, even after you use those 4 things, the next question should be, is that the best you can do? Now have a scrunchy face, be confused again, talk slow, right? Now, if you're dealing with a driver, right? Someone's like, bam, 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 what can you give me? And you're going back and forth. It's okay to pick up your pace a little bit, okay? So now, at this point, you either have a motivated seller or you don't. You're judging if you've got a motivated seller or you don't. If you've got a motivated seller, you want to get out to that property, set up a time, place, bring a contract, get ready to go, and let's lock up the deal so we can make some money. If not, if this person does not sound motivated, you decide, you know what, this person is not worthy of follow-up. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, would you like me to email you a written offer for your property? Or probably not. Just listen. They'll say, sure. So ask for their email address so that you can follow up, right? And then I'm going to email them the written offer and I'm going to follow up and put them on an email sequence moving forward. This is for an unmotivated seller. If they are motivated, right, I'm going to get out there and lock up the deal either in person or on the phone, okay? Very, very, very important. I'm going to do a quick review of this again, the 15 or 30 seconds. Remember, you want to smile, be conversational with a prospect. Number 2, okay, is you want to sound, confused. Have the seller chase you, okay? Also, rule number 2 is don't change number 2. Sounds like I caught you in the middle of something. Very, very, very important. Remember, when we're asking these questions, we're looking for motivation. We're not trying to be an interior director, an interior decorator. We're not trying to be a rehab specialist. We're not trying to be a construction specialist. We're trying to find motivation. Very, very, very important. You want to ask the motivation question is, sounds like a wonderful property. Why would you consider selling it? Okay, again, the summary is not all inclusive. Number 10, you want to ask for a price. Don't be scared. If they don't give you a price up front, then ask 3 different ways. I put them all here on the script. Make sure you download them. You don't have to write it right now if you're listening or running or driving or working out. You can do it when you get back to a computer. Okay, remember, ask 4 different ways if you don't get it the first time. The last time, you can go do a soft pass, go really, really low, get some guts, go for it. And if they don't like the number, well, then at least that's going to elicit a response from them. Very, very important. Now, even after you get that number again, do it again. Is that the best you can do? Okay, even if you like the first number, still say, is that the best you can do? Finally, if you determine that they're motivated, get out there, lock up the deal. You can do it over the phone. If they're not motivated, they don't have a problem, they don't have a solution, no timeline, get their email address, email them a written offer. Okay, I can tell you this, that 1 out of every 50 offers that we send out in our company that we thought had no business doing with us, had no motivation or problem that we saw, came back to us because we sent out the written offer, okay? Who did not sound motivated, who we labeled cold as ice, came back to us, okay? So think about this. If you're emailing out 50 offers a week, you're going to get 1 to 2 deals every single, you're going to get 2 to 4 extra deals a month just by emailing written offers out to somebody, okay? So remember, go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script to download it. This is my gift to you. And man, I hope you use it to lock up some giant deals. And if you do lock up a giant deal, please send us your story at support@nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com. Support@nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Talk to you soon.